weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be reviewing Daredevil number 9. It is the Red Fist Saga, part 9, and it is written by Chip Zdarsky. I had to get the page ready here. Manuel Garcia on art, Matthew Wilson on colors, and then all the way down at the bottom, VC's Clayton Coles on letters. I always get upset that Clayton is kind of pushed. He's cast aside, like he's down below, like his soul has been banned. We'll get to that. That's a little bit of foreshadowing. It isn't, but it's kind of. We'll see. Here we go with the recap. I'm making myself giggle here. Matt and Elektra have offered incarcerated criminals an opportunity to rehabilitate themselves at the Fist Island stronghold in exchange for their aid against the Hand. The Hand has kidnapped world leaders and replaced them with death-worshipping puppets, framing Elektra for the assassination of the President of the United States in the process. Emboldened or embiggened by their new leader, the Punisher, the Hand has taken the son of one of Matt's recruits, Bullet, forcing Matt and Elektra to finally take their army to war. After a gruesome and cataclysmic battle, Daredevil and Elektra escape with the key to defeating the Hand, the Lunate Talisman. But the ancient conflict has gained the attention of other, even more powerful forces. Now, a couple things from that recap. I like the idea that cataclysmic battle, they don't mention that dragon that was there. That was crazy. Any battle with a dragon, I say, is crazy. But you have a lot of other things that are kind of going to get twisted and turned in this issue, where we're going to really see a real bunch of twists that are going to blow your mind. They're going to blow your mind. And when we get to the one, it really could have been the biggest cliffhanger. And it's not even the cliffhanger. Oh, my goodness gracious. And I ended up saying that the idea that Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, still one of my favorite books. Still one of my favorite books in all comics. But when you ended up stopping it and then restarting it with this number 1, now we're at number 9, obviously, but it didn't go as great as I hoped. It almost felt at a point that Chip Zdarsky was going through the motions. I mean, the guy is writing Batman over at DC, and it just felt like this was a side deal. I'll get to that and put this stuff. This issue now feels like, holy crap, he was building some things up. I'm not going to say that a lot of that, incarcerated criminals, rehabilitation, and the bad prison system is better now because of all this. But it kind of was worth getting to this by the end, because I think that this issue is a banger. And we do start out where you have Akka going and talking to the Stromwinds. And if you don't remember, that's Quinn and Una Stromwind. I hate their guts. I don't like them. It's not even just because they're all fancy with their highfalutin money, that I don't have. They're just pure evil. I just can't stand them. And I'm actually more hating on Una than actually Quinn. So I actually appreciate that Chip Zdarsky steps up Quinn so I can hate his ass just as much as I hate Una. So that's how I get by the end. Also, I don't like Akka either, which I just want to call her AKA. But you end up where they're talking, and some of the stuff that they're saying at this point makes like half sense. It makes complete sense when you get to the end. And if you do end up going and finishing this issue, you're reading it yourself. A lot of people they finish it, they put it away, they either put it in the long box, they delete it off their hard drive, whatever you do. Go and do yourself a favor and go back to this first page, this first scene, and read it again. You don't have to go any further than that if you don't want to. But read this first page, and it's going to make a lot more sense after what happens at the end, because they're pretty much figuring out what's their next move. They've used the Hand and Akka to take over these world leaders and use them as death puppets, as they say, that I think pretty much the biggest death puppet, as you know, Kermit the Frog. So you end up having this talk, but it's like, okay, what are we going to do next? This is fun. And the Stromwinds are all about having their sadistic fun. It's mentioned a couple times in this issue, but you end up, Quinn says, no, we're done. I'm kind of done. The zombies with swords, that was fun at first, as it would be. But I'm kind of done with that. That was a fun distraction, but let's get to the big stuff here. Let's just burn this crap down. Let's just take it all and just destroy it. And Akka's already said, the hand, they're in disarray. Frank Castle's out of control. All this stuff going on. And she is all for this. When you end up having Quinn say, no, let's just burn it all down. The hand, let's take it. Just done. And Akka's like, yeah, that'll be good. I agree. Let's burn this crap down. But then she says, and the hand shall plant our flowers in their ashes, the ashes of the old regime. This is the purification and rebirth of what she wants of the hand. So she's in it for herself in the hand. The Stromwinds, they're kind of at first, they like to have fun. Stromwinds like to have fun. I think I know that song, but you end up where, they also want money, they want control, and they've gotten that. So they've gotten in spades, but it's time to really throw the whole entire world into chaos and let's really have some fun. And that's what they are going to be all about. Then we go and we hit the main deal of the book. I like enough that the art in the first page, once we get into dreamscape of Matt's mind, because he is healing, he's healing from that big battle. And when we get, the art really takes a dive. And that's the only thing that's going to bring my score down from being really, really high is the art. I don't think the art's very strong in this issue, but the story, very strong, because you end up where Matt is, he's having this mindscape dream. He's having a fever dream. He's trying to recover. And it's, Butch and Kingpin, the two came, and they're pretty much taunting Matt. They're making fun of him. Oh my God, you go. And even at one point, you do have Matt yell, Fisk, how dare you, go off and die. This is nonsense. Oh man, this sucks. And the big play is, don't do the violence. Let's stop this violence. We don't need the violence. And they say, oh, no, we do. And so do you. And this is a thing that seems to be bugging Matt, and it's going to come full force in this issue. The idea that Matt might not be any bit better than, say, Kingpin or Butch or just the criminals, because he's not really helping people. He's gotten beyond the helping people, and now he is. And it's funny because he is part of the fist, and they really are. He's getting people to just be his fist. He ends up where some of the other people here are starting to see that Matt, he's not the Daredevil that they agreed to join up with. And this whole war that they're involved with is a very selfish war, and it's not helping anybody, including Matt. So you end up going from there, and Matt wakes up. He was healing. It's horrific when you see this crazy eye socket nonsense. Disgusting, right? So he wakes up, and Elektra is there around a fire. Now, at first, you might think that maybe she's, cooking s'mores, but she's a woman of class. She's not going to touch s'mores. They're nonsense. S'mores suck. So she's there, and she has the talisman in this fire. She's reading from the book of the fist, and you have Stick there, who has got his mortar and pestle, and he's grinding maybe, some garlic because they're going to fry some chicken up later. But he's there, and they're going into this, and Matt wakes up and wants to know, hey, what's going on? And you end up having Elektra saying, like, listen, just relax. We won. We got the talisman. We're going to destroy this thing, and then it's over. We've done this. We've destroyed the hand. So why don't you celebrate? Why don't you relax? Well, Matt, can't celebrate, and he can't. So he goes and says, I'm going to go see how everybody's doing. So he walks off, and that's when Elektra says, we did it. We beat them. You said so yourself. If you don't allow yourself to feel the victories, you'll just burn away. You can't fix everything. And he gets his, Daredevil mask on and goes out. And you do have a pretty good narration throughout this with this kind of roller coaster ride of emotions that Matt is experiencing right now. And he says it's not over. And he'll end up where he runs into Cole. He's looking at all the people that are hurt. There's a lot of, pretty much everybody's hurt, including Matt. Cole comes out and says, hey, are you good? He's like, I'm fine. we need some rest or whatever, but we got to get back to this fight. Now, Cole is one of the, first of many that are going to happen in this issue where he says, wait a second, just like Elektra said, why don't you relax, enjoy the victory? What Cole's saying is like, we got to stop this. These people are hurt, but we won. We stopped the bad guys. You said it. We stopped the bad guys. We rescued the kid. And you have this talisman. I mean, what are you talking about? You have to let these people not only just, rest right now, but where's the next stage of this? Where is the winning stage? What's going on? I mean, are we just here to, at your whim, be fodder and get in this fight? Because there has to be something beyond that. Why won't you let us and yourself get to that? And Matt says it's not over till we burn them to the ground. We have to burn them off of the face of the earth. We have to take them out of existence. And it almost feels at this moment, it's one of those where, yeah, this battle, it's never going to end. You're not going to let it end. You're just going to grind everybody, including yourself, into the ground. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop. And you end up, Cole says, this is never going to end. You can't have it end. And people are going to die. And he's right. Matt will not accept. It's one of those things where if you're involved in a cause, that's your whole life. What happens when it ends? Your cause is gone. So you don't want it to end. You're not going to accept surrender. You're not going to accept the treaty. You have to keep fighting. And there's a lot of fights right now online that if you really think, you don't even have to think that hard. You kind of get what I'm saying, that this happens every day. I see it every day trending. All this nonsense where you just can't accept, like, okay, even when you won, even if you get what you asked for, you have to go to the next part of the battle because that's your whole identity and existence. That's what's happening here. That's the problem with Matt. Now, while Cole is throwing shade at him, Matt ends up hearing something. What he hears is, I guess, the jet firing up because some people are leaving. Bullet, his son, are leaving, but you end up having Doc Simpson, Leonard, leaving as well. At first, he says, I'm going to take Bullet and his kid back to New York City. They deserve a rest. They want to just get on with their lives. Matt says, okay, come on, say it. He goes, yeah, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. And again, it's another domino falling in this whole deal where he says, you're not helping people. I've gone away. I ended up bringing patients of mine to you, thinking that this was, say, a righteous cause, but a cause that would end up at the end benefiting them and making things better for them. But I see that that's not the case. You're not helping anybody. And again, I keep saying, not even himself, but he said, Doc Simpson says, you really, didn't come through here for me or any of them. I'm leaving. I'm leaving with Bullet and his son, and I'm not coming back. I'm going to get back to where I can help people, not just do this whole deal. And he says, and it's a real powerful statement, he says, listen, once I came here, I saw Elektra and what was going on. You're building an army of daredevils. That's all you're doing. You're grabbing all of these people and using me to grab a bunch of them. And all you're doing is building an army of daredevils, and Daredevil is broken. It doesn't work. So I'm out. I'm not letting you hurt any of these people anymore. But if you end up eventually, when you do figure out things and realize that you need help and go look, you can come to me. I will help you. You know where to find me. And Matt just lashes out. I mean, a lot of this stuff, if not all of it, makes a lot of sense, especially for a guy like Matt, who is kind of a spiritual guy, a religious guy too. I mean, all this kind of twists and turns around. But when you end up having Doc Simpson say, you know where to find me, he just yells, cowering in your office, helping no one. And he knows that's not true. He knows that that's just somebody angry and trying to you just insulted me. And yeah, it's true, but still it hurt my feelings. So I'm just going to throw something back at you. It really almost, in my mind, plays out like, oh, well, you're a stinky poopy head. And then he walks away. And he even has the deal where in his mind, he's like, don't keep control, Matt. Don't get angry, because he's just lashing out now. That didn't do anything. And when they fly off you end up having Daredevil fall to his knees. Matt falls to his knees and screams like he's in Lethal Weapon or something, right? He's all upset. But as that's happening, Foggy runs out. Oh my God, Matt, are you okay? What's going on? And boom, Matt hears something else. He ends up, because of his, advanced hearing, he hears something hit way off. He climbs a mountain to get to it. He's climbing up there and he sees a box. He opens up the box and there's a phone in it. And this is the deal where this actually is such a crazy little deal that makes you see just how crazy Quinn Strom, the Stromans themselves, how much influence, how much money, how many things they can do, because there's Matt and he's on a hidden island of the Fist. And still Quinn is able to get a box airdropped on the mountain with a phone just so he could talk to him. That is crazy. So you end up where Matt gets the phone and there is Quinn on the other end. Hey, what's up? How you been? It's been a long time. Yeah, I just want to tell you, you really have advanced things up. You're really grown up. I love it. But here's what happened. Remember back then, back in the day when you, and he doesn't say, but it was Elektra pretty much, but you stole $3 billion from us. At that point, I kind of considered you a nuisance, but you were kind of fun. I kind of liked it. It was kind of a fun little cat and mouse game we were playing. I got a chuckle out of you. But now, yeah, you're not so much fun. This whole Fist thing, all of this, you're getting in the way of our plans and you've stopped being fun. And we already saw earlier, like, whether or not it's just the way that he spells it out or whatever, but Quinn, he likes things that are fun. He don't like it when it starts not being fun. So he's like, yeah, you're kind of like a tick now. You're brewing in. You're more than just a fun nuisance now. You are a real pain in my butt and you're getting in the way. And so I just want you to apologize. I want you to say you're sorry. And it's just such a crazy conversation with the deal of, again, if Matt says, oh, I'm sorry, that's more of like saying, okay, I'm going to stop. This is pretty much, Quinn saying, say you're sorry and stop your damn nonsense. And I won't do anything. I will actually stop things that are coming your way. Things that might be avenging something. And, they might be like, might as well just say it, the Avengers. He ends up, I could stop this. Matt's not going to listen. And you end up where he hears a jet coming in then. Oh, crap, it's the Avengers. Oh, no, these people are in trouble. The Avengers are going to come and take us all away, all of our fight. And I think that Matt is running down into his little village there, not just to save people, because what are the Avengers going to do? The Avengers going to come in and kill people? No, they're going to grab everybody. This means that Matt's war is over. If this ends up happening and the Avengers come down, and they're just going to round everybody up and take them away. And again, the war is over then. So he runs down. And this, again, shows you that both Cole and Doc Simpson, they were 100% right. He wants this to keep going. He's not there to help people. He could, yap all he wants about how prisons need reform. That's kind of the surface level deal that he was using, I think, to justify all the things that he was doing, which were just as bad, if not worse. So while that's all going on, though, remember that Elektra, she has the fire, the book. They are trying to destroy this talisman. And she ended up, when Matt ended up waking up, she did start to explain what all of that meant. She ends up telling him that this talisman ends up where if that gets destroyed, all these zombies, all these people that the Hand have controlled, they will just die. They'll be gone, because what the Hand has been doing is using this talisman to get dead bodies, raise them up from the dead, and use them. And unfortunately, those bodies, their souls that were they're in hell now. So anybody that has been used or, in this whole deal with the talisman, with the Hand, their souls are banished to hell. And so this will stop it all. All of these zombies, everybody, they'll just drop over. They'll be done. So while this is going on, you end up having Elektra still trying to do that. Well, this plane comes in. It's not the Avengers. It's somebody canister bombs are let loose as this jet flies over. There's a big explosion, but the big thing that Matt realizes right away that this isn't just bombs. This is actually gas bombs, that now the gas is coming out. It's going all, and it's that resid. And this is a great callback. It's the resid, the gas that was in the prisons when Matt was, arrested, went to trial, and then got sent to jail. The resid was that chemical that ends up making people go insane, get violent. They turn on each other, all that. So this is basically the Stromwinds, it seems, doing this so that everybody on the island now just attacks each other. You don't even need to even battle anybody. They're going to battle themselves. So Matt runs down, grabs Foggy and says, Foggy, come in here. Don't breathe. I don't want you to get this resid in your system. And Foggy seems okay, except for he starts to explain things. And this is the jaw-dropping part of this, where Foggy says, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get affected by this. I don't need to hold my breath. So Matt says, damn it, what are you talking about, Foggy? What's going on? And so as this is going on, you have this back and forth where you have Matt saying, like, Foggy, what's going on? And you see that Elektra, and you can kind of get the idea that she's getting closer and closer to destroying this talisman. Well, Foggy says, what was nice of you? Remember when Kingpin almost killed me? He almost got halfway to killing me, right? And you came and you helped me out and nursed me back to health in the hospital. Remember that? That was really nice of you. But remember, and you should know this, Kingpin doesn't half kill people. Kingpin doesn't do things half measures. He does the whole thing. And Matt is trying to kind of come to what is he talking about? And the thing that I loved about this is the way that it progressed and the exact dialogue, which I'll read. He says, it was so sweet when you rushed to me after Fisk's men put me in the hospital. You cared for me, brought me here to the island, and Matt's Foggy, what? And then he says, Fisk never does anything in half measures. You know that. And right away, it dawned on me, oh shit, Foggy's dead. This isn't even Foggy. And then he says, they killed me, that I was dead. So Foggy, if you're a Daredevil fan, you love Foggy. Foggy's soul is in hell now. All of this nonsense, everything that happened, and Matt's best friend has been dead for all this time, and his soul has been in hell being tortured. This is a dupe body that was brought up and is pretty much a zombie agent. I'd like to say sleeper agent, but it's more a zombie agent of the hand. And so this is the play. When Matt ended up getting that phone that Quinn Strom dropped, he was really weirded out about the idea of this is a secret island. How did he know we were here? Well, now we know. We know that Foggy, but just that whole idea that Foggy's dead, that is crazy. But it's one thing to have a character die in a book, but to have his soul banished to hell, I don't know. And having it done with a guy like Matt, a very religious guy, like this is completely screwing with him. Well, right as that ends up being revealed, you do have the talisman gets destroyed. It kind of pops, it blows up in the fire. And Stick is right there and says, it's done. The hand's prophecy is complete. So as this is going on, though, because the talisman has been destroyed, Foggy starts to dissipate. It's very Endgame-esque. He kind of starts to turn to dust and he's getting blood, but also Stick does as well. So it's another jaw drop. Like, holy crap, like what's going on? And this is the thing where Stick, he knows he's a zombie of the hand. He ends up saying, there was rot in the hand, kid. Akka knew, even the high priestess didn't. So you see that Akka has done all of this because from that beginning, which I said, if you go back and read the beginning, it makes it that much better. But it ends up where they're trying to purge this, that what they think is the hand has gotten too out of hand. No pun intended, but they need to purge it. They need to start again. It's going to rise from the ashes, as they said. But Foggy is just disappearing into dust. Stick is too, but I'm more of a Foggy guy. Stick gets on my nerves, so whatever. But you end up having zombie Foggy. Buddy says, Foggy Nelson, your friend, he's in hell. And that's the last thing that Body says, and then it's gone. And then you end up, Stick says, Stick is dead, the fist is dead, the hand will be reborn, and he's gone. And Elektra doesn't know what's going on, and she ends up like almost falling over and says, Matthew. And I wonder at this point if she's saying that because she needs Matt at that point. She needs to tell him what just happened to Stick and that this was all a dupe. Or if she might actually be afraid that maybe Matt had been dead too. I don't know. But I think it's more of the, I have to find Matt. We got to figure this out. And Matt, as everybody in this village are beating the crap out of each other, trying to kill each other because of the reset, he just slumps down against the wall. And he's like, why? And now, again, this stuff that's gone on, Foggy, Soul in Hell, all of these people pretty much opening Matt's one eye, at least, right? To the idea that things have been going bad and this is a war that Matt will never let end, but he never can win. All of this stuff comes crashing down and he starts questioning God and says, why would you let this happen? And then realize that God himself is heartbroken because all humanity knows is violence. The idea that there was God who makes man and gives man his only son, and they kill him. And since then, it's just been perpetual violence. That's all we're good for. That's all we do. And he's had enough. I mean, he's like, I'm done. God is dead. I'm out. I don't know, but all we have is violence, so let's get to it. And he ends up where he runs out because he again hears something. And this time, it's not more recent, the Avengers and Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain America, Iron Man, and Jane Foster, Valkyrie, end up showing up to take down Matt. Matt comes running out with Elektra. Elektra tries to tell him about Stick, and it says, I love the narration. She comes in, and the narration is Elektra saying something about Stick. I don't know. He's in shock, and he goes out, and yeah, he's going to fight whatever. But you end up, Spidey ends up grabbing one of his sticks right out of his hands and then says, what the hell have you done? I mean, they're showing up in the middle of people just clawing themselves apart, all this stuff. And we'll have to see how that goes. At this point, because of what's happened and everything going on, I don't quite think that Matt's just going to give up. I don't think he's going to say, well, you know, and anyway, I don't think that anybody on the Avengers, Spider-Man, that they think that, you know, he should give up. They're there to lay some smackdown, it seems. So we'll see how it goes. If it's anything like the cover for next issue, it's not going to go over so well. But overall, this was a little more of a, you know, extended review because I really, really did like this issue. I didn't like the art as much. If this would have been standard, regular art that we have had, Cachetto art, stuff like this could have been a 9.9. That's how much I thought that the stuff hit. There's shocking stuff. There's, you know, heartfelt stuff. There's a lot of feels. All that all rolled up to one. Even with the art, I'm going to give this a 9.3. And yeah, it's really, really good. But thanks, everybody, for listening to this extended review. I hope I didn't go on and on too much. But please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications, and I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.